Yo, what's up YouTube? My name is Frank. Recently checked out the Jump Force beta, and instead of doing like a first impression or a review like everybody here, and that's not a problem, it really isn't. It's just that we haven't seen the full roster, and it's also a beta, so there's going to be technical issues. I mainly want to analyze the genre of this type of fighting game because Jump Force is attracting new players, players from other communities, and anime and manga casuals. Now, I gotta always do this, add credibility. I've been studying fighting games and video games for 5 years. During this time, I progressed in a fighting game called One Piece Burning Blood. I ranked the top 100 online ranks, being the number one respected best character player. I used this opportunity to not only study myself in the genre of fighting games, but the journey allowed me access to other minds of fighting game players. Now, what are you going to learn in this video? Jump Force and its background, Fighters versus Jump Force, the difference between the Jump Force genre and fighting games. And I say Jump Force genre because you can't say anime fighting games because there are Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Guilty Gear, Guilty Gear? Is that? I mean, I know the Arc System has a ton of anime games, but there's anime fighting games, so I don't want to lump them in together. Excuse me. And the main problem with these types of games. But you'll find that the genre really separates itself from fighting games. More specifically, we'll talk about Jump Force because this is Spike Chunsoft's first game that might be really improved. Now, what do I mean by improved? Well, Spike Chunsoft, the creator and creators, they're a studio, developing Jump Force, they've also developed two previous games, J-Stars Victory Plus and One Piece Burning Blood. But both these came with heavy criticism. Majority of it were comments like, oh, the characters are overpowered, mechanics and gameplay are broken, stuff like this. Now, both these games died very fast, which brings up the question, will Jump Force fall into the same fate? Now, the roster behind Spike Chunsoft's games, it's incredible because the roster in all fighting games should be the eye candy, right? But in Spike Chunsoft's case, it's what grabs the attention of fans. But let the records show that it's not always who's powerful. There's millions of characters to pick from in any manga of Shonen Jump's library, but that's a problem itself. Now listen, I really want Natsu, I really want a fairy tale character, but the chances of that are so low due to the fact that there's multiple characters to choose from. Now, Jump Force already has 5 One Piece characters. It's bad. That's bad. Unless every series is going to have 5 characters, then that's fair. But aside from the library, what if there's characters not known? In J-Star's Victories, many fans complained about extra slots and unknown characters. Now, I have to ask the question, will Jump Force do the same thing? Will it bring in characters that nobody knows? Now, Jump Force does have Yu Yu Hakusho and Saint Seiya. These two series are not well known to the casual audience. Can this backfire on Jump Force? Right now, Yu Yu Hakusho and Saint Seiya, they are fine. Because when I talk about the casual audience, I'm specifically talking about the anime and manga fans. Because that's what these games are made for. They're made for anime and manga fans, not for hardcore fighting game players. So, moving on to the difference in the genre. And I do believe I want to keep this to a little because I want to save this for another time. The 3 main differences between this type of fighting game compared to Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, is the terminology and theories do not exist in these games, zoning, footsies, etc. This is most likely because these games fall under 3D. Now, please note Tekken and Soul Calibur are 3D, yet these concepts exist. Frame data. We have no knowledge on the data of these characters and their movesets. It would take a madman to sit and analyze every character's frame per second, every scenario, every matchup. But it's not that we have knowledge that makes it a difference. It's that most times the framing is inaccurate. Hitboxes, blocking, sidesteps, all of this escapes, all of this. Now there's a popular theory that explains this, and it's because that these fighting games have air battles. Finally, we have fast-paced action, and what's so amazing about fighting games is that they're 90% 90%, I want to say 98% psychological, with the ability to think during a match. Now, this is somewhat possible, impossible in these games, but not always impossible. There's a little possibility. But most of the time when you are thinking, you're thinking when you get caught in a combo, or when you're restarting the ground game. Notice how I said ground game instead of neutral. We'll talk about that in a later time. Other than that, you have really no chance to predict, react, or make a read. The three tactics that you find in a fighting game are non-existent in this game, or in this genre of fighting game. In fact, they're replaced by the block and escape button. So, can we make anime fighters a thing? I do believe so, but there's a price to be made because, well, let me just slow it down here. These types of games are not really accepted by the core of the FGC, the fighting game community, and for a list of reasons, as you can see down below. The FGC, however, is slowly accepting the Smash genre, so it's possible for these games to be accepted. Now, the lists you see down below are drawn from community comments, forums, discussions, and I've also drawn from players I've actually spoken to. So, lack of competition, this is true. These games die immediately. Very true. Very different from fighters, as we discuss over here. And that is going to be part 2. That's why I kept it to a minimum. Simple auto combos. That's something that I really don't like as well. Square, square, triangle, 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 square. Stuff like that. R1, triangle, R2, triangle. Stuff like that. Easy to master. Easy to win. I don't agree with this. As you all know, well, you don't know, I am the #1 player for, respective players, top 100 online rank. It's not easy. So this, I disagree. I don't really agree with this. Easy to master, easy to win. This is also another topic for a different video, something that I disagree, but I have to put it on here because that's what the general consensus is. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, my voice is dying. Tons of gimmicks, again, community beliefs. Damage is not accurate. This is somewhat true because you could do a 90% combo on Blackbeard, but you can't do anything with Monkey D. Luffy. You can't do a 90% with Monkey D. Luffy. That is insane. Poor judgment on the developers. Mechanics are ugly, and air battles. So as I said, this is going to be a part 2. I kept it very small, very minimum. Wow. Why can I not talk? So this is all for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe because a part 2 is coming. I'm going to talk about all the theories. I'm also going to talk about easy to master, easy to win, why I really don't agree with this. So if you're new, please subscribe. That would be really great. I would appreciate it. I am FanTalk, Frank, and I will see you all in the next video.